What up, peeps? It's your girl, Dash. Come back from all takes. Well, it's the time, guys. It's reaction time, and this is to Netflix's The Night Agent. This will be for episode 6, titled Fathoms. Now, the last episode I really enjoyed. The stakes are getting higher. You see that now Maddie has been kidnapped by, don't know his name still, the one with that, giant, with a snake tattoo. Needless to say, he was working with the gentleman. What's his name? Oh gosh, I hate when I'm forgetting names. Apollo, I think is what it's called. The art teacher. And setting up because she just wants to have a some time alone, whatever. Definitely some sexual tension there, and let's just say that it didn't work to her advantage. Definitely didn't work to his. He didn't think that clearly this guy had, I don't know if it's another agenda, if he's working with somebody else. But what's worse is that we're finally getting a reveal of her dad, the VP, and his involvement with Gordon Wick, the company, the money, trace the money, as Rose said, to find out he's the baddie. So it's going to be interesting if they're able to get back to Diane and tell her this information. Him sitting there acting all distraught and concerned. It's like, all the while you were over here killing other people, covering up your mess. But needless to say, I'm worried about Rose and Peter because now we see Dale and Ella are going to be on his tracks now. So I'm hoping to see in this episode they're able to get to Diane in time before they try to maybe run them off the road, since they're following them very closely and they're being tracked with a tracker. Also, I feel for Chelsea because even though she was irking me, she wants to do good at her job. We see the flashback of her, of course, being sworn as, Secret Service. Her mother doesn't feel a certain kind of way about it, but she's there because she knows her daughter will be a great asset. Then the way she kind of sometimes, treats, her fellow, Secret Service, Eric, certain things that come back and we get her hints that comment he has, with the director about, her being her friend. And she's like, is that a bad thing? He's like, it's okay for now. And that can backfire, her being close to you, that she catches you a little off your guard where you're not thinking she would do anything out of the ordinary. You inquire about a dress, going to a friend's art thing, whatever, and all that, using it as a way to sneak out. Nobody in the alleyway, I was just like, really? And you could tell she was like, no, she didn't. Literally cussed. Then she was like, she was doing a little extra, like she's going to meet somebody on a date, because you could tell when she wouldn't tell her, like, is this for a guy? She said, well, I'm gonna find out about it when we do the background check, and she kind of just brushed her off. But I'm glad Eric, from the episode previously, he wasn't feeling the vibe of the teacher. And I like how, sometimes they always say, go with your intuition. If certain things don't feel right with a person, a situation, a place, it's a reason. And in that instance, Eric was like, now you see how they showed up. Too late, she was taken. Don't know where she's at. Poor thing, half naked. I'm like, oh my God, she's probably scared out of her mind. But I can guarantee she won't do that again. I had to catch myself before I cussed. All right, with that said, you guys, so let's go ahead and just jump into this. I'll say there was some thoughts at the end, you guys.
That was anti-fucking climactic. Isn't it better to see him die so that we know that he's dead? Teach me more.
Oh, excuse me.
Teach me everything. All of him belongs to us now. Who was right back there?
I'm not taking you in.
To the White House? Why not?
So let's just assume the VP is behind all this. He's not authorized to have pulled your Secret Service detail at the hotel that day, so...
Someone following us?
We're about to find out.
Anything?
No weapon. No sign of forced entry besides ours. FBI will process any DNA. Maybe they might find a match.
She ditched her security detail at a school event, and we're working under the theory that she planned a romantic rendezvous. Mr. Vice President, we found her dress and her panic button inside of her art professor's house.
You are definitely not my date.
Yeah, I hate to disappoint, but I need you to cancel, man. Do me a solid. I need you to keep her company for a few hours. Cisco, please.
Right away.
And then if something does happen, he'll take you to our meetup spot. Remember where it is?
The fishing pier. I'll be fine. I highlighted the most important parts. It might help Flora and the president see it in writing. He's everywhere.
I just saw that face.
Ah.
He's looking away in one of the drawings.
Like he doesn't want to be seen. She knows Maddie, inside out. She has the kid's schedule down. She has her habits memorized. She cares about the girl, which is everything right now.
Fine. Harrington can stay, but you're in charge. Find me Maddie.
How far back do you two go?
We were roommates at Quantico. He didn't tell you?
I haven't known him that long. Peter made it sound like he pulled away after the Metro bombing. Made it hard for her to stay.
Yeah, well, he's not really the kind of guy that likes to put blame on others.
Do you see her?
Can't see anything through these shades. It would be nice to have something different, to create a life together. There could be a piece of us left behind.
You're a messed up piece. God, you can't even fuck me properly. Now you want to impregnate me.
And look, I don't give a shit who's in charge. All that matters is finding Maddie. So, there is no boss here, all right? Just partners. And some special night out with this professor. Who would she tell?
Me.
And if she wouldn't even tell you?
You once promised her I'd never look.
New Leaf. That's where I saw the symbol. It's their logo. She told me a boy invited her to go to a meeting, but she decided not to go. Stop. Go back. That man in the background.
Oh, you see who it is.
You realize what you're saying here?
I do. But I'm less worried about what these people have done, and I'm more worried about what they will do.
Second attack?
Yeah.
The vice president?
I have somebody with Rose. I'll have him bring her in to drive in, but it needs to be discreet.
I'll set up a meeting with POTUS ASAP.
Bar's in on it.
What? You're sure?
Everything okay?
Everything she told me is a lie.
They fucking know.
Know what?
About you and Redfield, about the Metro bombing.
Oh my God.
That's your special forces trained fucking assessment? I'll have Peter arrested, isolate him until we can figure out the best way to silo him off.
Hang up, destroy your SIM card. Meet me at the pier.
Wait, how will you get there?
I'll figure it out. Just please, get out of there right now.
That's green light.
Shit.
Check the door.
Yeah, that's them.
I'm gonna drop you off.
Where?
I'll take the next corner, you jump out, run to Foundry Branch Park, get to the pier. It'll be faster on foot.
Stop.
She got up. This is Maryland State Trooper Francisco Jenkins. There are 2 assailants trying to kill me and my friend. I need patrol units somewhere.
Come on. Oh no. Get off of her. That's right, bro.
Get out of here! Once I got him, go call the police.
But your aunt, she was begging by the end.
Oh no.
Sutherland and the Larkin girl are on to you and Wick.
How do you know this?
We need a diversion.
Maddie is not a diversion.
She is my goddamn daughter.
Making this mess disappear is bigger than your daughter.
Oh, there he is.
No.
Whose boat is this?
A friend of my dad. I need you to follow up on a new lead. There's a person of interest. I'll send the name and the address. This is priority 1. You got it?
Who's the suspect? No way.
Your ability to sell our story is the difference between the White House and a supermax cell.
Any information regarding last night's shooting of State Trooper Francisco Jenkins? My daughter, Madison Grace Redfield, was kidnapped last night.
By a person of interest in Maddie's disappearance. His name is Peter Sutherland Jr. His picture is on your screen.
All right, you guys, this was such a good episode. It just keeps getting better every episode. More things are being revealed, and certain individuals you think are not involved are. And just like, my jaw wasn't dropped, but just like, really, Diane? And then poor Cisco. I'm all over right now. I'm just gonna be all over the place. I'm just gonna just kind of get my vent out. But I will say this. Ellen's gonna be out for blood now. She gonna what? And one thing I feel like, being that she has such her feelings for Dale is gonna be definitely a factor in this whole situation now that he's gone, because you see that flashback at the beginning where you see a body's being disposed of, out in the water, some sort of lake or whatever, and I'm assuming the one is that person that was missing from that family, and you see hence the ring. Now, mind you, them having this conversation of, about her, show me more and all this. So that was brand new. It said circa 2 years ago. And, as you see, going back to present day, her feeling a certain way, about their whole situation with their life. Hence, all the other episodes previously, her talking about them just being about just doing the work, not having anything that's separate from that, so they can kind of like not always be about the work, some sort of normalcy of sorts. Now, granted, what they do for a living, I wouldn't factor the word normalcy when it comes to either one of them too, but let's just, play along. But the fact remains is that they both cared about each other. And I like how she would sometimes get riled up a little bit in regards to that, but he's always very calm and collected in his way of engaging her feelings, thoughts about anything, even the personal stuff as opposed to the work stuff. Now, moving from that, seeing that we know Rose and Peter are trying their best to get to Diane and giving information and all that, of course, because the president asked her to have both of them come in. They realize that they possibly could be followed. You see how he's like, we're gonna go to my friend Cisco's place and all that. And Cisco's the man. I just feel so bad about what happened to him. Rising to the occasion when they, found his house that some people were at. Come to find it was, of course, Ellen and Dale. Then all of a sudden coming to this aid for letting Rose stay there. Hence, he had a date, so he squashed that to help out his boy. They have the past when they were together at Quantico. So I like how we get a little bit of understanding of this, not realizing setting up what we could see happening to him in the end, him being there for his friend, always just like he was there for him when he had this moment of situation and learning something. I think it had to do with the swimming aspect and the way they were treating him, but knowing that even though he didn't stay in Quantico, they remained friends afterwards, and they both went their separate ways in their paths, him being a part of the PD, and of course Peter being FBI. So I love that we get to see a little bit of backstory with somebody who knows Peter well enough to know the situation when he had with his girl at the time, of course what happened prior with his father, so just, I'm so upset about what happened with Cisco. But needless to say, just the reveal of knowing Diane, like when he gets there and he explains it, and he's at first, her trying to put together, all the little breadcrumbs, and then you see the scene of him, noting about what to do and telling her, like, the VP, okay, we need to do this, bring her down the tunnel, and all that. And he's like, okay. And when he paused, at first I wasn't kind of catching on, but then him's like, just kind of had a moment, all this, just like going, and she's like, don't worry, I'm proud of you, But it was just I'm assuming in regards to him, the placement of where Rose need to do this is what kind of caught him off guard, and that's when he realized she's a part of this. She's aware And you see the scene where she goes in the room and she tells it to Gordon, and he's like, okay, let me go get my people on it. Mind you, you see how she has a conversation with the VP. So clearly, at first she wasn't in on it, but then he brought her into this. So she's been basically someone, letting him get away with what he's been doing to clean up the mess. Hence, with Hawkins, where you see her standing over where his body was, pretty much dumped and left. It's like, oh wow. I tell you, some people, they're really good at masking, their true intention, and just the way she just, that lovingness, whatever. No, the act was superb. She could win an award. She was so good. I love the actress. She's awesome. I love Hong Chow. She's awesome. So, needless to say, of course, getting to Maddie, we see, a little bit of, tension between Chelsea and Eric. He's giving her the best information, being that he's dealt with certain things and all that. But then what brings it to the point is when the director shows up and wants to take her off the thing. He's like, no. Eric is like, no, leave her on. She knows Maddie. She knows certain ins and outs, whatever. We will not be able, to know, and this will help us. And he's just like, well, you're in the back. He's going to be in the front. But he's like, when he made the comment, I see your assessment has changed. And she looked at him like, oh yeah, you've been discussing me. Like, yeah. I mean, he asked whatever and all. And he's like, yeah. He's like, okay. She should be on it. She doesn't have to be in charge. Unfortunately, he doesn't see it like that. And I'm talking about Eric because he's like, nobody's going to be in charge of anybody. Maddie, whatever, we're going to just put our heads together. You have something that can be of service. I have something of service that can help us to figure out. And it looks like they're getting closer. I need a name of that guy with that tattoo. But I like how she, sees the paintings. We see the one Apollo did. Then we see all the other paintings of this guy with the tattoo and all that. Then you see other ones where she's like, there's some other information. And I like how she was like, she hid it, but she said, I would never touch it. But I love that she remembered and she found the stuff where this guy tried to come up to her with, some little paperwork and pamphlet. Hence probably the young guy who pretty much was brought in, through Paulo, because he's a part of some sort of company, whatever, this little, whatever organization where he brought him in. Because you see, he made that comment in the last episode, talking about, she'll understand, just like, you were able to make me. And I'm just like, okay, but definitely something has changed in that ship. Hence the way he killed him, style through the neck. Just, yeah. That one right there, that guy, no cut card. So I'm like, who are you working for? Because I'm like, there's got to be somebody, if it's a particular DC location or DC, link up with this particular, whatever this company is, there's other ones. So I don't know if the person, who is in charge overall over top of Apollo clearly will have information also. I don't know if this guy is not working with him or he has some other agenda or working for somebody else. Hopefully as time goes on, we have a couple more episodes that'll be revealed, hints, because all these reveals are like, my God, I'm like, just mind blown. So I just like that they did see the picture of him in the background from the phone, and they put two and two together with the actual tat. But I like how director calls up Chelsea and Eric and like, we need you, in regards to this, because now that Peter was able to get away, he hit real good, even though girlfriend was trying to come in there and all that with the VP and all that. And they're like, we're going to, have him arrested. We're going to do this. But now they had to come up with another story. And the story is the VP had to get his little speech together. She's like, do you want to go to jail? Or you want somebody else to take the fold for this? Hence, I'm coming here to clean up some mess, after the fact. And you see he shut his mouth up real quick. So clearly he had to make the speech. You see how the situation with, Dale fighting, he caught on what Cisco did, trying to let her out, whatever, that little pit stop and all that. Ellen killed Cisco, rest in peace. And then you see Dale get into, at first almost, and I got real lively, will probably be in the reaction, you won't see it anyway, about that part, but I'm glad Peter showed just in time, like, oh my God, and going back and forth. And of course, I will say this, it's not in Peter's nature just to be straight up, somebody straight up killed. Now granted, when she made a comment talking about he killed my aunt, I understand your feelings, sweetie, but don't do that. That's not helpful. That's not how he is. And clearly, when he was about to kill him, you see how she did. And she's like, Peter, trying to stop him. Like, yeah, you created a monster, whatever. When he's making these, hitting you and making these little comments, she begged for her life. Don't make Peter go down that path if that's not what is in it. Now, granted, if he all of a sudden kind of got in the way and all that, he had to kill him, whatever, and knock him out a certain particular, head butt or whatever. That was in defense of you. But in the midst of him doing what he did, but I feel like, and he had to, because I feel like if Dale ended up staying alive with her, they were going to keep going at it, he would have kept trying his best to get to Rose to kill her. So it's unfortunate, it put Peter in that situation, but Dale's gone. We'll miss him. When I think about what he's all done, him talking to her in the car about, maybe you should take a fan. She's like, oh, crazy, this, and he's like, you know what, you're right, it's crazy. And she kind of thinking about what her choice words. Yeah, you both crazy. I'm sorry. She's definitely a hothead. He calms her down at times. But I'm like, you two being parents, I'm sorry, no. Just being honest, just at the rate, no. I'm just going to leave it at that. So we see her, she finds him. She takes that ring off. I was like, yeah, because then they don't know, what do you have to do with this and all that, and just be more and more stuff. Don't want them knowing that. She was smart enough to do that part. So she's going to be out for blood. It's coming. She's coming for Rose now, Rose and Peter, and they're going to be literally looking for them. I don't know who else they can truly trust. I'm hoping Chelsea believes and is like, no, something's not adding up, and they start putting their little stuff together and link up, whatever, even if she has to bypass Eric. But I pray that Chelsea's like, no way, like she doesn't believe that. Like, I'm really hoping when she saw the alert that the director sent over the picture to her and Eric, like, this is who you all are looking for, this is like, number one on the to-do list. We'll see. But that, listening to the VP talking while Rose and Peter on that boat and saying, can you find a person to stole my took my daughter, and it's Peter, and Peter's like new, and you see how she looked at him. Yeah, sweetie, Peter is now, ever since he helped you, and he's doing the right thing because that is his job, is now involved with something that had to do with both your aunt and uncle, has pushed him into something he just nothing, and all you can do is hold on to him, honey, because they're coming for him, not you. So now they gotta get smart. Don't want this damsel nonsense and distress, all this other little nonsense, whatever, and all that. Things are now going to be, their faces are going to be everywhere. So I'm really looking forward to episode 7 to see what is going to happen. We are 4 episodes out because it's 10 episodes total, if I'm not mistaken. But again, great episode. Great episode. it's a doozy, but I'm here for it. So with that said, you guys, comment below. Let me know what you think. And with that said, I'll see you guys next reaction. You guys take care.